Many thanks, Amadine. Nigerians have begun assessing the administration of the new administration after spending 1 month in office. This follows the introduction of a series of policies by the government cutting across major sectors of the economy. News Centre's Odusoga reports.
It's exactly 1 month since Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu assumed office, and a lot seems to have happened already. President Tinubu has touched on various sectors of the economy, the first and perhaps the most sensitive being the removal of subsidy from petrol.
The new administration should commit immediately to the full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act so that we can earn more revenue, more foreign exchange from gas investment. For instance, we have more gas reserves than we have crude oil.
In just a month, some Nigerians have been assessing the performance of his administration, one of which formed the conversation at a 2-day National Leadership and Sustainability Conference in Abuja.
I don't want to know the party you belong. I may not be a fan of Tinubu myself, but he is a leader because within a very short time he has taken some decisive decisions. A leader must be accountable. We are waiting for him to show trace of accountability. He has taken very, hard decisions within a short time. The removal of fuel subsidy, this is what our previous leaders had shied away from. So he had done it.
One of the challenges affecting Africa's most populous nation is leadership, with records of political and economic instability that have ravaged it over the years. The youth have continually demanded good leadership and accountability through a series of protests, with calls to be allowed to take over the baton.
They are young, they're vibrant. This is a time for them to do things. We need to put ourselves in the position of power. And it's not just contesting, it's actually being power yourself.
In just about 30 days, as subjective as the thought may be, some people believe that President Bola Tinubu has acted in the best interests of the market by getting rid of an expensive gasoline subsidy and ejecting a governor from the central bank whose loyalty may be tied to other interests than the common good of the people. The president has also pledged to standardize a complex system of fluctuating exchange rate. While all this appear long overdue, it is still unclear how the government intends to shield the citizens who are being overexposed to the harsh and sudden realities of the reforms. Adesewa Odusoga, reporting for News Central.
Many thanks, Adesewa. Let's take this conversation a step further as we're joined by Zariyi Yusuf, spokesperson of the Big Tent. Thank you very much for joining us in Nigeria tonight. It's been exactly a month the president took the oath of office and became the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before we look into specifics, what is your overall assessment?
Well, thank you so much for having me. To begin with, I'd say I don't exactly know what people are already assessing. I think with the rush of things, it's quite too early to think that anything tangible is actually coming. One of the most important thing I think I notice people tend to do a lot is to want to commend him for taking bold steps, being brave, treading grounds or the presidents haven't dared. I think it's rather unfortunate that a man just steps in and unfortunately meeting the mess that his own party has plunged the country into for the past 8 years is trying to balance up things by squeezing too much from the masses. So first of all, the removal of the fuel subsidy is not any bold step. I think it's an economically unwise decision. It's something that is quite unsustainable. The very reason why things tend to look certain ways, because a lot of the people praising him are either people who are not directly affected by what has happened. Because I know if you would sell a liter for 1,000, people would, there are people it will not affect in any way, possibly because of how their proximity to, the coffers of the government. But be that as it may, I do not see so much that people would immediately want to start making any assessment. I see most of what he is trying to do as something to more of try to either sell himself as a tough guy, appeal to a lot of sentiments, and unfortunately, even with what he did with the CBN governor, I don't. I mean, it's just a case of pot and kettle, trying to see who's blacker and all of that. But basically, I do not really think there are serious parameters to measure any success other than the ruthless and the godless hardship people have been plunged into.
Yeah, but the reports we saw moments ago said the lady there sees him as somebody who is decisive. And some of the persons that I've spoken with say that this decisiveness is a positive thing for the nation, that we need somebody who has, who speaks and he acts on it. Aside from, yes, the reality of the hardship that's been experienced as a result of some of his policy actions, progressively looking forward, is this the kind of decisiveness that we need in a leader? Or again, is it too early, like you've said, to begin an assessment based on these seemingly harsh decisions?
Unfortunately, if you talk about being decisive, Hitler was decisive, Saddam Hussein was decisive, Idi Amin was decisive, and all of that. So it's not a quality as far as the economic reality of Nigeria is concerned, especially as far as the interest of the masses is concerned. When you talk about decisive, what happens to a criminal like Asari Kubo, who would come and spit on the face of the Nigerian military, wield guns, and threaten genocide against a particular ethnic group? Where is the decisiveness of the so-called president? Why is he not in jail?
I think it's unfair to call somebody a criminal until maybe the law courts have said that. I'm referring to your comment about Asari.
But what do you refer to? What do you refer to Asari Dokubo talking about chasing a particular ethnic group and giving them what they want, referring to them as people that are slaves? Is that
okay? Can we move on from that?
Yeah. So when you talk about decisive, we would want to see decisiveness in it should be more on sensitivity of your sensitivity to the economic realities. You don't meet a group of people and squeeze them out, make life a lot easier for those who are at the top, those who already have it, the rich getting richer, and then whatever gaps are created in the economy, you squeeze it out from the masses. I think rather the decisiveness is less about reforming the economy and the progress of the country. It's more or less a way of trying to gain himself some moral legitimacy to his presidency, which basically is in question as far as certain people are concerned. I mean, with what's going on in the courts. So I think it's taking certain measures. I mean, for instance, a lot of people are falling to the logic. They will tell you, I didn't vote him, I don't like him, but these decisive measures, I think they are welcome and all of that. So primarily, if you would ask me, I think most of this harsh and economically unwise decisions that are being taken, are basically, they are less for the interest of the country and more for.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for speaking with us on the news. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you so much.